The Shannons SpeedSeries is back at the home of horsepower, Sandown Raceway in Melbourne, and like it's always been, the famous Victorian circuit is the warm-up act to the big 2023 Grand Finals later this year. Here's what to watch out for as we charge our way to the business end of the Shannons SpeedSeries season. The Hyundais continue to lead the charge in Super Cheap Auto TCR Australia, but all the most recent round at Queensland Raceway did was muddy the waters in this increasingly competitive turbo title tussle. Defending champ Tony D'Alberto looks to be playing himself into contention at the right time of year, while the Peugeots of Aaron Cameron and Jordan Cox just won't go away. Ian McDougall is back on the grid this weekend, and there's also something of a family reunion happening. The Rogers, Bargwanna and Richards families are all getting back together. Clay Richards, who started Winton, driving a Bargwanna Motorsport Peugeot prepared by GRM this weekend. With weather always a factor, Will Brown in imperious form, and the Peugeots the car to have at Sandown last year, this is set to be another unpredictable weekend. The last solo act for TCR before the Kumho World Tour rolls into town. The National Trans Am Series has been compelling since day one of the 2023 season, and Sandown is unlikely to offer up anything different in that regard. At Winton, series leader James Moffat had to face Lockie Dalton's domination, and then last time out in Queensland, it was Tom Heyman on top, closing the gap to the series leaders with his strong performance. So what happens at Sandown? Does Elliot Barber continue his run of form? Can Brett Holdsworth nab his first win of the year? Or does the tide finally turn for Ben Grice at his hometown circuit? Nash Morris is back, so picking a winner is about as easy as picking your way through this feisty field at the moment. Keep an eye out for Super 2 racer Ellie Morrow, who makes her Trans Am debut, and also the Saturday schedule. Trans Am cars get their moment in the big time, with two races in a short space of time to throw more unpredictability to a title chase already impossible to read. People said it would be boring. Instead, Queensland Raceway dished up a Kumho V8 touring cars thriller last time out, with a totally wild trio of races and a debut round win for Sydney-sider Jamie Tilley. Jude Bargwanna still leads the championship, but QR proved he is definitely beatable, and not just by the Queensland winner. Last time out, Ray Hislop was a well-deserved race winner in his Ford Falcon, while Jim Polisena continued to do Jim Polisena things, making remarkable starts and firmly inserting himself into the winning picture in every race. The Kumho Series this year has proved that you don't need massive grids to turn on great racing, and Sandown is unlikely to be any different. It's heritage built on cars like these, and there's little doubt they'll deliver more fun this weekend. Sandown is the next stop in the national tour for the Mobil 1 Australian production cars and Monochrome GT4 Australia series, with another large joint field ready to fill Sandown's 3 or so Ks. Sandown is a circuit with lots of Porsche history, so it's appropriate Shane Smollen leads the GT4 ranks to their debut at the track aboard his Cayman 718 GT4. The Sydney-sider hasn't had things his own way this year, but he does take a handy points lead into the event as entries from McLaren, BMW and Mercedes-AMG try to take him down. Of note is newcomer Jacob Lawrence in his BMW M4 GT4. He'll be driving solo at Sandown, but has the helping hand of John Bowe in his corner, and he's a guy that knows a thing or two about winning at this place. In the Proddy car ranks, BMW remains the brand to beat, but riding into the Sandown equation is Melbourne's notoriously fickle weather. Sandown can go from sunshine to sodden in seconds, which means if you're someone like Dean Campbell in your all-wheel drive Mitsubishi Lancer, you're probably looking at your weather radar app more than anyone else heading into this weekend. The Australian Formula Open Series makes its Shannons SpeedSeries debut this weekend with a spicy field of F3 and F4 cars and some sensational young talent ready to put on a show. Sandown has been the scene of some classic open wheel races in the past, with the long straights offering slipstreaming opportunities and the big stops plenty of overtaking chances. The series last raced at the Shannons Trophy Series events at Queensland Raceway, with the Lara driver Trent Grubel taking 2 race wins and the weekend points overall, while Ryan Howe claimed pole and the prestigious Errol Gilmore Trophy by winning the feature race. Brodie Norris was on top in AFO4, claiming the weekend over Peter Bozanilos and Ryan McMillan, and moving to equal top of the standings alongside fellow young gun Christian Janev. AFO features some of Australia's fastest cars, and they're always spectacular at Sandown. Marca Australia's own racing series gets their chance in the limelight this weekend at Sandown, fielding their own grid of Aussie designed and manufactured GT cars across 3 different classes. The original Mark 1 and later Mark 2 cars will be joined by the latest and greatest Mark GT, the latest evolution of the product. It's set to create a race within a race within a race scenario on the grid across their 3 events. John Goodacre and Adam Hargrave are likely to be the stars of the show at an outright level, but the class competition and different shapes and sizes of cars means this exciting grid should put on a great show. You can catch all the action from Sandown live, at break free and on demand on Stan Sports on Saturday and Sunday, with live coverage on the 9 network around Australia on Saturday afternoon. And if you're in the area, head to motorsporttickets.com.au to grab the best value passes in motorsport and see it live in person.